So, have you been playing Old Republic at all lately? Like
You know what?
whatsoever?
No, my subscription just ended,
And you
and
haven't
so
renewed
I
it at
haven't
all?
renewed it yet. I'm going to, cause
Did you
I
ever get around to making that Republic character, or you
yeah
just
I
stick
did. I
with it?
started playing as a Jedi, or was it a Jedi or was I playing as a
Were you,
I think I know I was playing as an Inquisitor, or not an Inquisitor, a
uh,
Jedi
Jedi Sentinel.
Sentinel. I think
Sentinel, that's Nolan North.
I'm playing as a female.
Oh, I don't remember who that is.
I don't know.
We did that
But,
last time.
yeah.
Go back and watch that again and stuff.
So
Yes.
I decided I made her, which might have been a bad mistake.
Why?
They're fucking boring. She throws rocks at people.
What?
It's so lame.
What?
She throws rocks at people.
Is that like her power? She's like lifts
That's
up rocks
just what
and
they
launches
do. Like
them at people?
the beginning things you learn are like throwing rocks at people. I'm like, what
What?
the fuck is this? Like
Like instead of lightning, you like use the force to like levitate stuff at people.
Yeah.
Huh. I guess that actually kind of makes sense. I was wondering like what
I
you.
guess
I was kind of wondering what you would do if you're not Sith, since Sith are like, oh, lightning, crazy.
it's just really silly because I'm just like walking around and someone would be like, I don't like you. Here's a rock.
Yeah.
And I just like throw. Actually, you throw.
I didn't know if it was gonna be like Jedi power battles where Plo Koon is like, I have orange lightning because I'm a Jedi, and I have an orange lightsaber, so my lightning's orange. And
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's
It
how
just-
that's how it works.
It's just weird because it's actually one of them is to throw tiny amounts of rocks really fast at people, and one is to throw a big item near you at them, which happens to mostly be rocks. But sometimes I've done it and it picks up droids from the ground and throws them at people.
Jesus.
And I'm like, this
Like
is
it'll pick up actual things from the environment. And
no,
launch them at
just things
people?
underground.
Oh,
So I'm
just
assuming
like
they're
it'll
just-
just make up stuff.
Yeah, it'll just make up stuff.
Okay.
It'll randomly pick up a droid.
That'd be fucking awesome though. To actually picked up things from the nearby environment and launched them at people.
That would be
like
pretty
some
fun.
of those non-interactive things that you just see in the environment. Like that'd be cool if you found out they were actually there for the purpose of like the
Like
Jedi
picking up and
Sentinel
throwing.
powers.
But the storyline sucks really bad. It
It
was like
does?
I started off and it was like, we need to find rare Jedi artifacts. Go out there, and then one guy, no, you can't. There are flesh eaters out there. They might kill you. And I was like, okay, well I guess I won't. And this guy goes like, well, we're running low on people, and half of our Jedi's have died. Go fight the flesh eaters. I'm like, weren't they just dangerous? He's like, don't worry about it. And so I like walk out there, and they're not dangerous. Like
the Republic
there's-
Trooper storyline actually starts with a crash.
really?
Like you and your entire squad are in a Republic ship that just crashes, like because it gets shot down when you're on your
think-
way to something.
I think the Jedi storylines are just so convoluted because it's always just like, you're strong with the Force. This is why you're here. And I'm like,
I feel like I might have made a
guess.
mistake by making my first character an Inquisitor, just because I think that Jedi and Sith are going to be the least interesting characters in the game. Because it's like, I'm really good, I'm doing these good things, and I'm really bad at doing these bad things. And even if you're a good character, you're going to be doing bad things anyway. Like, there's no such thing as a good Empire character that's just like a less evil Empire character. Like, my Inquisitor that has all these light side points is not a good person. He has done horrible, horrible things, and he's never gotten dark side
guess.
points.
I don't know. I honestly, it doesn't really change anything to me.
I've kind of hit a point now where I think the entire morality system in that game is kind of meaningless and bullshit. Because like I've actually hit points where like I have no idea why one choice is good and why the other choice is bad. And sometimes I've actually hit points where it's completely flipped to me, where I think that the exact opposite is good or bad than what it says.
Really?
And then I've been in one situation where they just I had no fucking clue what was going on, so I had no idea what was going on. Like, so I was like, oh, was I doing something bad? Is this gonna be good now? I don't know. I just ran into I was on my Inquisitor.
Someone gonna be mad.
Yeah, like I was on my Inquisitor on some planet, and I think it's like the one after Alderaan or something, and this person tells you to go hack someone's droid, just as a quest, and it's like there's like it's like some sort of people that are there to just like save the world from some corrupt politician or whatever the fuck. Then you get there and someone catches you hacking the droid, and he's like, no, you should stop that, and blah 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 blah, and like the option to not hack the droid is good, and the option to keep hacking the droid is bad. And I guess it's because you're supposed to have figured out that the people who sent you after the politician were actually the corrupt ones and not the politician. But it's like, this isn't explained in any way. Like, I've known these characters for like 2 seconds, and if they're lying to me, how am I supposed to know that? Like, this game's
Whichever one gives you the fancy blue points.
You can't turn confusion into a moral dilemma.
Well,
it's not fair.
I don't know. It's just hard to like. I don't know. I never find myself like motivated to play it. Really, I never find myself like getting up and like, I'm gonna play some Star Wars. Like I just get into that MMO phase where I'll play it a lot, and then I get to a certain point, normally like 30. I'll get to like level 30, and then I just stop.
Did you ever hit max level in World of Warcraft or EverQuest?
No, I ended up getting myself to 60, just so I can unlock the Death Knights, because you got to be like 55.
What'd you think of those? When I played WoW, that didn't exist yet.
They're kind of cool, I guess. It's kind of lame starting out at 55 and just be like, everything's pretty much done. and you, like, literally, you just walk out and it's like, now I can go troll all the young people because I know where all of it is because I had to work.
It is
to
a really
level
weird
60.
thing. It's a really weird concept to have a character just hit 60, and then as a reward, you get another character that's pretty much 60.
Yeah, and so like I just started a Death Knight and I did all the shit, and then when I was like, okay, now you can go to the real world, it's like, okay, so I flew over to all the noob areas.
It seemed like it must have been a really bad decision if you wanted to avoid having the servers be completely flooded with Death Knights.
Oh, God.
Because it's like, hey, we're giving out Death Knights, you get a Death Knight, and you get a Death Knight, everyone gets Death Knights!
Well, you're only allowed to make one Death Knight. Or no, you
per server or something like that?
Yeah, you're only allowed to make one Death Knight per server.
But just the fact that, like, the moment you hit that level range, you just kind of get a Death Knight, and that's true for absolutely everybody.
Yeah, but think about
so they're just going to be everywhere.
But think about the people who they're, like, the level cap now, I think, is 80.
Yeah.
So that's not really impressive. Like, you start at 55, you're like, yeah, I'm 55. And there's, like, some guy who comes down at 80 and swoops and rapes your ass real quick and then flies away. And you're like, oh, that was lame.
Yeah.
But all I did was I made a Death Knight.
I wonder how they handled skills with Death Knight. So, like, did you just start out with a shitload of skills? Or did they just, like... Or they just start introducing to you that with each level at like an accelerated pace to catch you up after the first few levels? Because it seems like it'd be really confusing to have like the skills of a level 55 character when you just made the character.
God, I can't remember. I think you just literally pick what skills you want.
Because that's always something that runs into me. I always run into with like with my Inquisitor. I have so many skills now that a lot of them I just don't use, and I'm not entirely sure
why.
I'm not even entirely sure what situation I would use them in. Because to the large extent, I just have a lot of damaging spells. So it's like, how do I know?
So
I don't have any sort of meters because there's no UI editing yet. So I'm like, I don't know what good DPS is for all these different skills. So like, I basically have to research it or just sort of wing it.
You know what? Honestly, when I played through, I pretty much.
I think I have 5 lightning attacks.
Really?
Yeah.
All I do is I do the same 4 moves. I put like the same 4 moves and just keep doing it over and over again because it just works. Like I don't find a need to use any other moves.
That's pretty much what I do too. Is like I have like a set of like a handful of moves I just do over and over again, and the other ones are just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, I
keep getting more skills. I don't know what their purpose is.
Yeah, I pretty much just put all of my points into like one move. Like so that way I just have it's super powerful. So I'm like I can use this.
You mean like your talents? And everything?
Yeah, I just put all my talent points into the same moves that I use in the main 4 moves that I use.
Well, I think that's just basic how you use a talent tree.
Yeah, but it's just I never need to use these other spells they keep giving me. I'm like, why am I going to use this? Because these spells are maxed out and they're perfect and they work and they're quick and that's all I need. Like I just
it's a little rough. Even on my rogue in WoW, like I remember having a ton of skills, but like for my average like encounter with an actual NPC, I remember I'd open with a stun, I'd hit him with a backstab, when that wears off, I'd hit him with like another stun, more backstab, then I do like my third type of stun, and then by then I've probably finished him off. It's like I use like 4 skills in each encounter, and my rogue probably had like 20 or 30 skills.
Yeah, it gets kind of silly after a while, but one thing I did have a problem with, and I wish there was a way to do that. They have the iPhone app for it for your security key.
Yeah.
And because I have one of the security keys because I bought the collector's edition, and so I wish that they had a way that you can merge the mobile app and your security key together. So that way I could use...
You could just not carry it around anymore?
Yeah, so I don't have to carry my keys with me. Because I have my security key attached to my keys, because I always have my keys on me. But if there's a moment where it's like, I can't find my keys, I want to play Star Wars...
You can't play Old Republic.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck. So I gotta I wish there was a way to merge it so in the app I could just be like, okay, I need my key, and then...
Have you ever played Guild Wars?
Yeah.
Like that was actually an interesting skill system for me, because in every MMO I've ever played, I run into that issue where like there's so many skills and I have no like use for the majority of them.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting how Guild Wars had this huge selection of very useful skills, but then it was like you can only take 8 with you and you'd merge 2 classes together, so you'd have like 2 entire sets of skills to pick from, and you could only it was like 6 or 8 or something like that. It's how many skills you could have on your bar, and it was locked that way. And I thought that was really interesting that you'd actually strategize. It was almost like specking your character every time you were in a town. Like you
Yeah,
can
pretty
choose a
much.
specific
It
combination.
just got I
and
played.
if you mess with it right, you feel like a total badass.
Oh yeah, I the only thing I hated about Guild Wars was after a point it started losing the MMO effect for me because I started only using the AI on my teams
Well,
because people were like, hey, you want like I would go in and be like, hey, I need a group for this, this doing this quest, and people would be like, okay, well pay me 50 gold, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay you money to be in my group, like don't be a jackass.
I thought the
like,
biggest problem with Guild Wars was that it was almost entirely a PvP oriented game, to the point where if you really wanted to, you could hit max level with only like a couple hours, because the actual MMO part of the game was actually really, really tiny.
Yeah.
Basically the game was like, hey, make this hybrid character, play the game for like 5 hours to hit max level and get the best armor, which is super easy to get anyway, and then just go PvP like crazy. And it's like you almost might as well have had it be in like almost like the Dota type thing where you just pick a character from a list and just start fighting.
I think Guild
like-
Wars 2 fixed that, didn't it?
It sounds like Guild Wars 2. Well, it's not out yet, but Guild Wars 2 looks like it's going to be more of like a full-fledged MMO.
Yeah, I mean they're fixing
where
that.
for all
I
intents
thought.
and purposes, the first Guild Wars, and it's like the 4 separate
Wait, Guild
games.
Wars
It
2
was
isn't
like-
out yet?
No, it's not. It just got confirmed recently to be coming out this year.
Really?
Yeah. You're thinking of like the 3 separate expansions that Guild Wars had, which
Oh,
added
that's
more. They added
right.
more classes, more slots per server, and so on and so forth, and
No, I don't.
give
no.
you a whole new continent
No.
to explore and still be useless in, because the old PvP elements of Guild Wars were pointless. At least when I played.
To be
it.
announced in 2012. Jesus. I thought it was already. I thought it was.
I'm gonna qualify my statement just that if Guild Wars has changed dramatically, I don't know. I only played it like roughly at the beginning of when factions came out, and back then, yeah, the game was like ludicrously short. And
how many
there was-
expansions are there?
If you like PvE, there was just nothing to do really. Like even if you really wanted to farm like crazy, get really like uncommon items, all you could really do was get different appearances, because they wanted everything to be balanced, so the best armor was really easy to get.
Oh yeah.
It's like there was no. It was like people heralded as this like, oh, it's really cool because it's the free MMO. It's like it's not really an MMO. It's more or less
No.
just a matchmaking service for your death matches, and that's cool. It was actually a fun game, but it's like it's not the genre that it pretends to be in this really kind of annoying
I don't
way.
even think I have my Guild Wars installed.
Or do you?
No, I don't. I just.
I don't.
checked.
I think I lost my Guild Wars. I was tempted at one point to buy the 4-pack on Steam for like $10, but I just kind of didn't.
I don't even remember what my account information would be anyway.
Yeah.
That's been so
Apparently
long.
now, if you'd go into Guild Wars, in order to redeem your account, you have to actually type in like the name of one of your characters.
Fuck. What were the name of my characters?
Like as part of the security thing, you have to know the name of one of your characters in order to log onto your account.
That's
Like that's their version of that's like one of their security key type things.
that would. Oh, so there's 3 expansions.
Yeah,
There's Factions, Nightfall, and Eye of the North.
and they all have a girl on the cover.
Do they?
Yeah, that seems to be their advertising thing. Is every single one has some
Awesome.
has some chick on the cover.
Awesome. That
That looks like
Wait.
Keira Knightley.
Yeah. Or not. Or not.
Eye
yeah.
of the North looks like Keira Knightley.
That is weird.
That is kind of weird.
I think the only one I don't have is Eye of the North, and
I only
think,
got factions. Basically, I got really addicted to Guild
yeah,
Wars.
I don't think I have Nightfall either. I might have Nightfall. Do I? Maybe I might have.
I got
Nightfall.
really addicted to Guild Wars all at once, and then like a week later, factions came out, so I
Oh.
bought it too.
Oh,
And then I quit like a
no.
month
Is
later.
that what they look like? That's so
It's
unfortunate.
unfortunate.
That's
They look
so
like
hideous looking. Maybe they just have really bad.
it doesn't
settings.
matter. It's gonna have the armor's gonna have the same stats as all the other stuff.
No, it's just, I mean just like graphics. Just like
Yeah.
graphical stuff just looks so bad. Ugh.
Like
I don't know.
I kind of had an idea.
Whoa,
for
that's
how,
a dwarven boxing
What?
mini games. Dwarven boxing. That's awesome.
Norn
love
fighting
that.
tournament and Polymock.
Resembling
Pokemon.
The player fields
What?
The player fields a team of up to 3 pieces against his opponent's team. Each piece morphs into a specific creature with a set skill bar and predetermined weakness and resistance.
What?
That's awesome.
what
I
the
like that.
fuck?
Wow, this is such
What?
sad. It's funny when you go through.
It's like it's almost like they got frustrated with how each expansion was like sort of like a different appearance to the same old content, but with like additional like class or something. So like, hey, let's have an entire Pokemon thing in our game now.
those are mini games.
It's like it'll be completely separate, so it won't fuck with the regular tournaments. So let's have fun.
It's so sad to look.
they
at
might
the
have
system.
they might as well have added like chariot racing or something like that.
Well, it did come out in 2007, so give it.
Yeah.
Damn, look at the you look at the system requirements. It just makes you sad.
how low
It's like,
they are?
Yep, 512 megabytes of RAM needed.
Yeah, back when.
Video card with 64 megabytes of RAM. Are you fucking kidding me? I have 2 gigs on my fucking video card. DirectX 8? Oh,
64
God.
megs of RAM for video?
Yeah.
It's like when you look at the stats for Warcraft 3 and you realize how small they are, and you're like, holy shit, you could run this like 1,000.
Look at this.
I could run like 1,000 of this game on my computer simultaneously. No
Do
biggie.
that for the original Age of Empires. You'll just like cry. It's just like all you need is like 12 megabytes of RAM.
You need a calculator.